I believe this is the third time we've done this. This is our publisher praise segment, in which case we take a publisher that we like everything that they're doing, and we give them lots of praise, lots of kudos. They don't necessarily have to have the best games in the market, but just a lot of stuff that makes a lot of people happy, especially us. In this one, we're doing Fantasy Flight Games. I believe Fantasy Flight Games might have been 90% of my collection at first.
Oh, yeah?
Like, all the games, when I first started getting into board games specifically.
You just opened up one of their books and was like, that and that and that.
I was like, I'll take one of each. Thank you. No, but because I acquired the World of Warcraft game in 2008 or whatever when it was released. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't until 2011 where I started just buying board games and you know, moving away from like hobby games or whatever. And I literally had, I think, 14 Fantasy Flight games out of the 40 games I had. It was a huge percentage, and they're all big.
Right.
So it was like, it just looked like it was worse than it actually was. But so anyway, let's talk about some of the games that we like in Fantasy Flight. Obviously, they have a massive library. We did Gale Force 9 and Arcane Wonders.
Yep.
And so like they have like a smaller library of games. This is like a
massive amount. Yeah, there is so many of their games actually that is high up on my want to play list, and a lot of them I actually own. I just haven't got to the table. So I actually have a list of games that this game high up on my want to play list, and half of those games I own.
Well, let's start with you, Matt. What since you didn't get to talk too much in the last thing, give us a list of some of your favorite games and why.
Quickly going through, I'll kind of leave some off because I think you all might say some of these, and then if you don't, I'll circle back to it. But starting with probably one of the bigger ones that had a lot to do with what I involved a lot of my time with was the Warhammer Invasion game. This was a living card game they had underneath the Warhammer license that is sadly gone. But it was a lot of fun. It was a very unique kind of card game they had. You had like 3 areas you had to try and infiltrate, and you're building decks and doing that whole thing. I got some pretty nice new friends. They actually used to drive to the Fantasy Flight headquarters for, I think it was Worlds, whenever that was going on. So there was that. Another game, maybe this won't be on your all's. It was probably one of the first games that I played besides Catan to kind of get into this hobby, but was Battlestar Galactica.
That Tim got rid of.
Yeah, and Tim got rid of.
Traded.
But it was a lot of fun that night. I remember the accusations of who a Cylon was a lot of fun. I like the mechanics that goes along with it, where there's shady actions going on, and you try and pinpoint who's doing what. Starting with those, and then they did bring out the Fallout game. I'm becoming such a big fan of this Fallout universe and everything that I just discovered like 2 years ago, or actually probably less than that, a year ago, I guess Christmas, whenever I got my PlayStation 4 and tried Fallout 4. So Fantasy Flight has brought forth that to a physical version for me. And then I will just bring up the fact that they're set up at Gen Con every year. That is something they're involved with.
Very top notch.
And they have one of the more impressive setups every year after year. They're one of the top dogs at Gen Con. So
fair enough. Yeah, I was kind of looking around to make sure I didn't forget anything.
Yeah.
Eric, what about you? What's some games?
Oh, for me, I really liked Android Netrunner. I like that asymmetrical aspect to it. It plays differently on both sides. I don't really like that it's a LCG. I don't like LCGs myself because it's so much to keep track of. When you have so many games, you can't devote a lot of time to one.
It's so much better than a collectible card game, though.
Yeah, that is true. But the game itself is really nice. Cosmic Encounter, like that. There's so many different player powers, races to play. Great game. Mansions of Madness, 2nd edition. It works so well with the app. Another great game of theirs, Kingsburg, which I have.
I kind of forgot Kingsburg was there.
I didn't even realize that was theirs.
Yeah, so the dice placement, really good game. They had the Blood Bowl Team Manager, the card game. Not a quick game that we figured out, I guess.
It's not 45 minutes.
It's not 45 minute game, but awesome game. there's a lot of games that are that they make that we haven't got to the table just yet. That I want to get there is Star Wars Imperial Assault, Arkham, and Eldritch Horror, which I did get.
Do you have Imperial Assault?
Yes.
For some reason, I put in all the math trades for it, so I'm glad I didn't get it. But
yeah, so I got that. I have Arkham Horror. I have Eldritch Horror now, which is on my list. Battlestar Galactica, which you got rid of, but I do understand it's better with the expansions. We probably could get our hands on that. War of the Ring, which I have the first edition, but
I literally just had a lot of games that fill that role, and I knew I could get something out of it.
Yeah,
because it would trade in the math trade really well.
Oh yeah.
So,
But
not that I didn't like it and was trying to get rid of it. I was like, well, I got Shadows over Camelot, so let's get rid of that.
Yeah,
or Dead of Winter or whatever.
Descent second edition, I have that as well. Need to get that to the table.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Chaos to the Old World. So
technically, you have the first edition too.
Oh, I got rid of the first edition. I traded the first edition for the second edition.
Nice.
Yeah. With an expansion.
Greatest match trade moment I ever witnessed.
Oh no, that was a different match trade, and I traded a game called Chess 4, which is 4-player chess, and I traded for Descent first edition.
Like 2 years ago. It's not like it's been a while.
So
yeah,
that was a pretty good trade on my part.
Yeah.
Sorry, I still got stuff in my throat here. Well, the biggest thing for me, obviously, is the World of Warcraft board game. I know Matt probably would have put it on his list as well.
Right.
This is like straight crazy. I believe this might have been my first Fantasy Flight game in total. And I was just, this is crazy. I mean, it's like playing the game. There's the attention to detail in that game with how an RPG, like an MMO, went is just awesome. They put everything that I'd want in there.
Yeah, just have a lot of time to play it.
I mean, the whole day.
Schedule a day.
Yeah. And then the StarCraft board game, which we haven't got to, but again, that's just a fantastic, regardless if we play it or not, I was just a huge StarCraft fan. So you said Blood Bowl. It was in my top 10 list. My cat's going crazy. It was in my top 10 list for many years, I believe. And then recently I've chopped it down only because I've played so many other games recently that I like a lot. And it's not that it's that far down. It might be like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Netrunner, really awesome for the same reasons, the asymmetrical play and all that stuff, and just the fact that I remember it from back in the early or mid 90s when it came out then.
Netrunner?
Yeah, because I'm a huge Shadowrun fan, and when it came out, it's same thing. Oh, the whole like Shadowrun Matrix style,
Right.
Technomancer, whatever. Mansions of Madness, I still prefer the first one better than the second one, even though I haven't played the second one. Primarily,
I have it.
Primarily because the entire reason I bought the game is the entire reason everyone else does not like it.
One versus all.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody doesn't like the one versus all, but whatever. The Star Wars RPG is fantastic. I like that they kind of, I don't think y'all have played that, but they've added like a small board game element to an RPG with the way the dice and everything work out, and like some of those tokens you flip and everything. I've only played it 3 or 4 times, but man, it's so good. The X-Wing game I totally just abandoned, but when I was into it, it was really good. I was into it for like maybe 2 years total, and we played it a lot. And I really like, I appreciate the craftsmanship. They didn't do WizKids and use poor quality paint jobs. I mean, this stuff looks like it's professionally done.
Right.
A little bit easier to pull off because I think there's ships and stuff. But man, it was just good quality. And Hey, That's My Fish.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been published by a couple of different people, but honestly, I've played this with so many non-gamers, and they've just really enjoyed it. Tedious to set up. Now I just played on the tablet.
I was gonna say the tablet version is phenomenal.
Yeah, but man, it's just a fun game. And last game that I thought about was Condottiere.
Yeah,
I really like that game.
it's an awesome small box game.
That is a fantastic game, and that's one that I actually sought out just a couple of years ago. There's a comic shop that I knew had a lot of old stock, and they happened to have it, and it was still $25 or whatever. So bam,
Awesome.
Gotcha.
And I gotta say, on top of all this, sleeves.
Sleeves,
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, I think we're all going to agree with that.
Yeah, I wish they were a little shorter sometimes because they tend to stick up past your card a little bit, but they're still high quality and really
a
not.
little bit cheaper, but
Yeah, a
they're
little
good
bit
sleeves,
cheaper.
so they demand a little bit more for them.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah, I don't quite understand why they're so tall. Like they are like 5 or 6 millimeters past the actual card.
Right.
But I mean, they're super good quality.
I'm guessing to protect the card better, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Quickly, just 2 games you all did not mention that I had on my list was Infiltration
Oh, actually,
yeah.
I did have it. I
Oh,
just
did you?
totally
Oh.
skipped it. What am I doing?
and Elder Sign.
Oh yeah, that's sitting right there.
Because if you don't want to play the long version, from what I understand, it's pretty much
The dice version of Arkham Horror.
yeah, exactly. So it's like a quicker version of it. So
Well, yeah, let's go back to Infiltration. This game is fantastic.
yep.
Like it is so good, and it's baffling why they haven't reprinted it. They have to be getting to that point, but honestly, the game is. I think a lot of people are kind of saying, "Why isn't this out still?" And I think there's a market for it to come back. I don't know why it's. I don't know. It's good. If you have a chance to play it, definitely play it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the presents at Gen Con and all that stuff, fantastic. They outdo themselves. I mean, it's bad for the first day or second day.
You're not getting in their store.
Yeah, their store is just like crazy hard to get into. Crazy hard. That's actually what I was referring to, but
Oh, yeah, you're gonna be in line for a little bit.
yeah. But anyway, yeah. Kudos to Fantasy Flight. You get our publisher praise for this episode, and we're gonna give you claps.
Hey.